Is AliExpress legit or a scam? It's a question that I once wondered myself. My first transaction with AliExpress was over 12 years ago, and over the last 1 year, I've amassed over 100 separate transactions, so I've certainly got a few interesting examples to go off. If you just want the short answer to is AliExpress a scam, then the answer is no, it is not. But there is so much more to it than that. You need to know that there are some dodgy things that take place on AliExpress, and stick around to the very end because I'm going to share one experience that had me questioning my own sanity. I'll evaluate my experience for you in 3 key areas: buying, affiliate sales, and refunds and support, so that you can be the judge of whether AliExpress is a scam or legit. So let's start with buying, the most compelling reason to shop on AliExpress, given you can get a ton of value for an often negligible price. Buying on AliExpress is a lot like its more trusted cousin, eBay, in that there's individual sellers with their own feedback profile who are in control of writing the listings and sending you your item. Of the 100 plus items I've purchased this year, I would really only consider one item a scam, and the rest have all been pretty good. If you've been on AliExpress, you've likely seen the choice promotional section, in which there's a ton of dirt cheap items with the stipulation that you have to commit to buying 3 or more in order to check out. But I've noticed one disturbing trend with all of these items. And that is that most of the time, each of these items comes with a defect in quality. So let's go through the defects of these 3 items, starting with this mini set of pliers. Now, I did only pay $3 for this tool, and luckily the defects don't affect the functionality, but I did notice that the metal finishing on this part just here has some rust on it, which I have not been able to remove. The second defect, which I identified in our unboxing video for some $3 AliExpress gadgets, is that they've only bothered finishing one side of the steel on the pliers. If we take a close look, see how it's nice and shiny where they've galvanized it to prevent rusting there, whereas if we flip it over, look at how that dull unfinished metal has not been completed. The next defective item I've received is this steel bull bar, which I've installed on one of my G-Shocks. Now, when this arrived, it was incredibly bent, and so when I installed it, it looked very crooked. I've done my best to repair it with some pliers, so it doesn't look so bad now, but in doing so, I have nearly broken it. And that's because there is a very inferior quality weld here, as you can see, so this thing is pretty much hanging on by a thread. So if you do want to get a high quality bull bar, I'd recommend J's and K's on eBay. They're the ones who made this one for me, and I'll leave a link for you in the description below. Now, this next one here is the most blatant scam that I have ever fallen for on AliExpress. As you can see, it clearly says that it is 1080p on the back and on the front. And in fact, if we bust it open so you can see what's included here, a few cables and whatnot, this is the unit itself. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, there is no way this thing is 1080p. So it does say so just on the lens there. I paid just $3 for this item, and I kind of knew that it was going to be a scam. There's no way that it would be possible for that kind of price. But anyway, I highly recommend you check out the unboxing video where you'll actually see the footage that I've done with this, as my reaction was priceless. So as you can see, sellers aren't always going to be completely honest with you, and you could end up with a piece of junk. So my advice for you is to make sure you check the seller's feedback profile, make sure they're legit, and also check out the feedback of the specific item to see what other people are saying. Bubble says, ram the like button if you're enjoying the video so far. Now, what about the AliExpress affiliate program? Is this legit or a scam? So myself personally, I've been part of the AliExpress affiliate program for the last 7 months or so now, and this just means that when I post a link to a product on AliExpress, I make a small sales commission if someone clicks that link and then makes the purchase. Now, if you do have something to purchase on AliExpress, I would be incredibly grateful if you would first click on the link I've left in the description below so that I get credited with the affiliate commission. And that's going to help me grow the channel so that I can eventually afford to hire an editor and make more great videos like this for you in the future. Now, I myself was very skeptical of the AliExpress affiliate program, but I figured I may as well apply given I recommend a heap of items off AliExpress, which I truly do stand behind. Now, a great example of this is this metal G-Shock upgrade kit, and shortly after being accepted into the affiliate program, I made a video where I upgraded this G-Shock. And guess what? This video did so well that it got over 100,000 views, and tons of people clicked my link and purchased the upgrade kit. Now, this was a great video that you should definitely check out above, but the question is, did AliExpress pay up with all those affiliate commissions? Well, see for yourself. The answer is yes, I have received my payout as an AliExpress affiliate. So in my experience, AliExpress is definitely legit when it comes to affiliate sales and paying out. Now, what about returns and refunds? My first ever return was for a watch bezel and strap that clearly advertised in the listing that it included both, but imagine my surprise when it rocked up and it did not include the bezel. Thankfully, I took plenty of photos of what I actually received versus the listing photo itself and what was advertised. AliExpress took my side, gave me a free shipping label which I slapped onto the item and sent it back, and once the tracking showed that it had arrived, I received a full refund. The second refund I got was for an item that I had purchased and paid for on AliExpress, only to realize that it was going to take way too long to arrive, so I would much rather get it for the same price on eBay. Now, I reached out to the seller and thankfully they were super understanding and did issue me the full refund. And that was very generous because they absolutely did not have to do that, as that was my own mistake. The final refund or return that I had to do was for this metal G-Shock bezel that I bought, which actually came with a factory imperfection. So I'll show you on the paint job. Where is it? This side, just here. See how it's got sort of that paint chipping there? So it was actually like that when I got it, and it was really disappointing because I was looking forward to doing my epic Mr. G build, which is a fantastic video. You should definitely check that one out. But when I contacted the seller about the imperfection, he basically told me that I could keep this one as a spare, and he sent me a brand new one without the imperfection. So I am very happy with that outcome. Now it's time for the AliExpress experience that had me questioning my own sanity, so make sure you're a subscriber so you don't miss our next review. Now this one really did blow my mind. So because I live in Australia, when I purchase electronic items, I need to make sure that I purchase ones with the AU power adapter plug. So I bought two items one day apart. One of them was this hot air gun, and another one was a USB-C power adapter, which I'd show you, but I have it plugged in right now. Now, I am telling you, I vividly remember clicking and selecting the AU power plug option for both of the items that I purchased. But when my items finally arrived, both of them had the incorrect power plug type. Now, I don't know if there was some kind of a glitch on the website during checkout or what happened, but one thing's for sure, when I checked my order history, neither of them showed that I'd selected the Australian plug. Now, I won't rule out the possibility that in fact I am just a clumsy idiot, but seriously, come on, what are the chances that for two separate items on two separate days, I've fumbled and selected the wrong plug? I just don't buy it. Now, I know this is a big conspiracy as I've no way to prove it, but I suspect that my order history was adjusted after the fact so that I would end up with this one. As to why, perhaps it's because they wanted me to purchase an additional adapter piece so that I could make it work here, or maybe they just ran out of stock of the Australian plug. But what has your experience been like on AliExpress? Have you experienced anything dodgy? Do you think they're legit or a scam? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Here's our AliExpress gadgets playlist and another great video for you to watch next. Thank you to our Goat Crew channel members, and if you'd like to see your name up here, here's the link to join us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.